In this episode of Star Hopping with Kissimmee Park Observatory, we'll look at the Sagittarius region and show you how to find these beautiful deep sky objects. Messier 25, Messier 28, and the globular cluster, Messier 55. All right, let's go star hopping. Hey, hello, hi, and welcome to episode 35 of Star Hopping with Kissimmee Park Observatory. I'm Dave Hearn, and I'm deliriously happy to be your host. In this series of programs, we'll show you the most beautiful sights in the night sky and explain exactly how to find them with your binoculars or your telescope. Well, since I'm looking at areas of the sky that will be rising in the next couple of months, we've made a complete celestial loop on star hopping. This week's episode looks at 3 clusters in Sagittarius, and we reviewed this amazing constellation in episode 1 of Star Hopping last year in August, when it was positioned well up into the southern sky. As I've mentioned several times, Sagittarius is shaped like a teapot with a handle, a lid, and a spout. Sagittarius is full of amazing deep sky objects because it has within its borders the center of the Milky Way galaxy. In a reasonably dark sky, away from city lights, you can look just above the spout of the teapot to find the center of the Milky Way. This appears as the brightest section of the river of light that crosses the sky from the south to the northeast in the late spring and summer months. We discussed some of the greatest objects in Sagittarius in episode 1, such as M8, the Lagoon Nebula, M20, the Trifid Nebula, and the huge globular cluster M22. Fairly recently, in episode 33, we presented M16, the Eagle Nebula, and M17, the Omega Nebula. But there are tons of other very good objects left over, even for another couple of loops of star hopping. That's the beauty of talking about deep sky objects. I will literally never run out of things to talk about on this show. In this week's episode, we'll have 2 nice globulars and a beautiful open cluster, with the last one sitting right in the center of that river of light, just above the lid of the teapot. We'll check it out right after this. Kissimmee Park Observatory would like to thank our wonderful supporters on Patreon. Your contributions will allow us to create and provide more quality astronomy content. We appreciate your generosity and support.
Star hopping target number 1.
Messier 25 is a pretty open cluster situated in the center of the swath of light that is the Milky Way, passing through Sagittarius. Visible to the naked eye under dark skies as a blurry spot at magnitude 4.6, Messier 25 is a fine open cluster for binoculars and small telescopes. It contains 3 dozen bright stars scattered over an area of half a degree, actually the size of the full moon, and may actually contain up to 600 members. To find M25, we'll be starting from the star atop the lid of the teapot, Caus Borealis. From Caus, move 5 degrees to the upper left to 5th magnitude 21 Sagittarius. Now move 2.5 degrees to the left and slightly upwards, and you'll see the sparkly open cluster M25 move into your eyepiece. Once you find this target, see if you can count the 30-odd stars that are supposed to be contained in the group. M25's distance is about 2,000 light years, which makes its physical diameter about 20 light years across. After the break, we'll check out a nice globular cluster perched at the top of the teapot. We'll find it right after this.
Star hopping target number 2.
Messier 28 is a globular cluster in the constellation of Sagittarius. It was discovered by Charles Messier in July of 1764. With an apparent diameter of 11.2 minutes of arc, M28 appears considerably smaller and more compressed than its impressive neighbor, M22, found only 2 degrees to the lower left. Messier 28 has a glowing core which fades rapidly outward into a halo, and it's slightly elliptical in shape. A larger telescope, say 8 inches or more, is required to resolve it into stars. M28 has a total magnitude of 6.8. It's extremely easy to locate M28. Going back to Caus Borealis, just look a half degree to the upper right for its glow. In a wide field eyepiece, M28 would appear in the same field of view as Caus. If you do head over to M22 and are awed by its size and brightness, don't forget about its little brother you set out to find in the first place, which is very nice on its own. M28 is about 18,000 light years away, and it has a linear diameter of about 60 light years across. Our last target is found about 10 degrees to the lower left of the handle of the teapot, and we'll locate it with some difficulty right after this break.
Star hopping target number 3.
Messier 55 is a fairly bright and medium-sized globular cluster in the southern extremes of Sagittarius. It shines at magnitude 6.3, and it's quite large, measuring about 19 minutes of arc across, roughly 2/3 of the moon's apparent diameter. But it's difficult to observe due to its southern declination. It has a loose, grainy appearance even in 7x50 binoculars, where most globulars look like round nebulae. This target is a little bit more difficult to find than the last two, as it's kind of off by itself. We'll be starting at second magnitude Acela, which lies at the bottom of the handle of the teapot. The next move is what I've called a leap of faith. About 6 degrees to the lower left, you'll find a 5th magnitude star. Move to it when you're sure you know where it is. Now move about 5 degrees down and slightly right, and you should pick up the glow of Messier 55 in your eyepiece. If you're not able to find it on the first try, retrace your steps and check out the star chart here. As it's only a little over 17,000 light years distant, M55 is one of the nearest globular clusters to our solar system. It has a diameter of about 100 light years across. So did you enjoy our walk through the most dense part of the Milky Way? We started with the pretty open cluster, Messier 25, situated about 5 degrees above the point of the teapot. Then we found the easy globular cluster, Messier 28, positioned in the same field of view in a wide field eyepiece as our starting point, Caus Borealis. Lastly, we hiked out into the darkness of southern Sagittarius to locate the nice globular cluster, Messier 55. So that does it for this week's episode. You can find the show notes on our website at kpobservatory.org/sh035, where you can comment and leave any questions that you might have. Well, thank you very much for joining me here, and I'll see you next week with more star hopping tips and tricks.
I'm Cassie, and I hope you've enjoyed star hopping around the Milky Way. We'll continue to bring you these video astronomy tutorials every week on Thursday, and in their podcast format on Fridays. They'll be designed to help you find deep sky objects that are up in the sky at the time we post them on the internet. The reason we create these videos and podcasts is to help beginning amateur astronomers learn the sky and get more enjoyment out of their telescopes and astronomy in general. If you have any requests for potential targets in the night sky that you would like to see us discuss, just let us know down in the comments section below or on our website blog. Don't miss our free field notes for this episode, basically the script of the show, with all the images and star charts we use for our star hopping activities. You can get them for free at kpobservatory.org/fieldnotes. If this is the first time you're checking out star hopping, and if you found this video useful, please consider subscribing to our channel by clicking the big yellow button, click the thumbs up on the video, and please share this tutorial out to your friends who like looking at stars. Also, as I just mentioned, please feel free to leave any question or comment below, and we'll be sure to respond quickly. Please follow KPO on Facebook, where we post all of our astronomical digital images, and keep everyone informed about upcoming astronomical events. We'd love to hear from you to discuss all this great stuff up in the sky. All the links to these places in cyberspace, including our website, kpobservatory.org, can be found below in the episode notes as well. And finally, if you feel this video provides you value, and if you'd like to see more, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where for a small amount per video, you can support our efforts, and help us make even more great astronomy tutorials, just like this one. So bye for now, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Star Hopping with Kissimmee Park Observatory.